How should I, 24F, deal with my boyfriend, 23M? Hello. I've never had a post done like this before, but since this is anonymous as I'm posting it from a burner account, and since I don't want to come forward with my relationship problems to my friends anymore, I might as well ask you for some advice. I, 24F, met my current boyfriend, 23M, on Bumble. I swiped him because he seemed like fun, but I did not have the intention of taking him seriously as he is a bit too silly for my taste. He is a gamer, does game production, and is really into some dank memes and SHT like that online. Whereas I am goth and usually take things a bit too seriously. His interests and my interests are far away from each other, and so that usually is my clue to not date somebody. He asked me out to a picnic on our first date, and he had some cute fruits and cookies prepped, brought his Steam Deck, and we just hit it off. He talks a lot about anything, and I am more comfortable as a listener, and so it just worked. We ended up at his place for a 2-night sleepover. Things were very relaxed with him, and I felt safe and comfortable. I felt like I knew him for a very long time. After that, we had weeks of spending nights together and being cuddly. We hadn't even gotten intimate yet. At some point, he informs me that he had never had a relationship, he had never done monogamy, and he is not the jealous type. I asked him if he really wouldn't care if I was seeing other people. He said, "It's not that I wouldn't care. I just don't want you to limit yourself to just me." I told him he's more than enough. He didn't really believe it. And then I told him that I am in fact the jealous type, and if we kept hanging out the way we did, then I'll start getting attached, and that that's something he should know so he can understand my intentions. 20 minutes later, he asked to stay exclusive, said, "I want to respect your wishes and give it a shot." And around 10 days after that, he called me his girlfriend. I thought it was a very sweet story to begin with. Beautifully unexpected connections. Fast forward. We have been together for nearly 3 months, during which we spent almost every weekend together, exchanged insecurities, were intimate, and I had met his family within 2 months of dating. We've cried in front of each other countless times. During these months, I understood what his triggers were. He had been played multiple times before by multiple women. One was what he called his best friend. She always had boyfriends, was never really single, and he always liked her. A little bit before him and I met, she and him had some intimate relationship, not sex, where she was in an open relationship. She played him basically, which is something he wouldn't conclude about any woman that he had been with, especially her, and she kept him around her. His feelings were hurt. He blamed himself for liking her, and soon after he met me. He has his extreme straightforwardness. One time telling me he missed her, and that he got upset it would never happen with her. Later on we fought, and he cut her off. No, I did not ask him to do that. He always tried to make space for me in his life, and to really put his feelings with me. I always accommodated to him as he was new to relationships. If he is upset, or if he wants to talk about things, I'm there. If he is feeling like he needs space, I give it to him. Many times he told me he was unsure about even being with me because he believed he had a fear of commitment, despite him being the one who wanted us to be exclusive. Took us a while to get intimate, which I appreciated, but also questioned, as he did not have a problem having hookups in the past. He feels happy when I meet his family, like he is welcoming me into his world, but then has doubts about us when I'm not there. One recent issue is texting. I've asked him to stay in touch with me, as we live 1.5 hours away, and we only see each other on the weekends. Like, how to explain this? He isn't used to talking to someone this often, but then again, he texts me about the most random SHT ever. Then when I call him to be apologetic about my lack of texting one time, he says, "I'm not sure about texting every day actually," like it doesn't matter to him to stay in touch. This then brought on the conversation of me needing him to put in the effort and why it's important. We talked about this yesterday, alongside with other issues where he cried to me telling me I'm so good to him and very understanding. And then we proceeded to be affectionate with each other and be intimate. But then today he texts good morning, does not keep up with me the whole day, then texts at midnight that his day was mediocre. I told him today morning that I dreamt he liked someone else again. He said he only likes me. Eventually, after I was upset with his inconsistency again, and simply telling him I'm annoyed a bit, after him promising to do something and not doing it, he then had a panic moment and ended the conversation after he had ignored my texts. I might be making him out to sound worse than he is. He isn't a bad guy, he just lacks experience. But the issue here is that he is bringing out so many insecurities in me, and I don't know how to handle it. I've been secure for a while now, confident in who I am, but his issue with his best friend made me feel like I'm not what he wants. I feel insecure about him not reaching out to me during the day, like I don't cross his mind. I feel bad when I get upset with him because he lacks experience, and so I hold him when he's just fragile in front of me. But then again, I let myself down for letting so much SHT slide. I am down bad for him, and I always accommodate to him, even after I've expressed my needs, concerns, or boundaries. I think I might be falling for him, but this whole thing is showing some warnings for me. I understand him always, but I feel like we always have to do things his way, and I'm never heard out. He only listens and proceeds to do what he wants, like the texting thing, and when I get upset, he gets upset, and so I feel guilty. It's a very strange dynamic. It's not a toxic relationship, but it's a lot of back and forth of me telling him what relationships look like, and him always brutally doing what he wants. He cries about it, says he will do what it takes. I let it be and believe him, and then he doesn't, and so I get upset, which makes him upset because he feels like he didn't do well, and then I have to be understanding. If I'm making any sense. It's 2:42 a.m. ATM, and he left me with a "I can't think straight because I'm not feeling well" text and similar other sentences. I let him be for now. What I want to ask through this post is insight. Am I being unreasonable? Am I being stupid for believing him? How do I deal with the understanding/insecurity balance? Any insight from what you've read would be appreciated. I have an important meeting tomorrow morning, and I cannot sleep. TLDR, my boyfriend is very inconsistent as he has never been in a relationship before, and so I have always accommodated to his needs, but he gets nervous when he has to do the same to me. What do I do?